Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam and today I am doing another Beast Quest ranking video. Today I am ranking the water beasts of Beast Quest from my least favourite to favourite. So with this list here I have 22 beasts I'm going to be talking about, all of which I have reviewed on this channel, and I'm going to be honest, because water beasts are a very common sets of beasts, I'm kind of surprised there's not as many beasts as I thought there would be. So yeah, it kind of caught me off guard that there's only 22. Thought there would have been close to 30. Also, little disclaimer here. The following beasts, Merc the Swamp Man and Querzal the Swamp Monster, I have not added on this list because whilst a swamp does typically have water related to it, I decided not to add them there as I see them more of land-based beasts, even though Merc is mostly powerful in water. So, they won't be on this list because I didn't see them as a proper water beast, unlike these ones here. So with that being said, please remember this is my opinion, so if your opinion is different, please leave in the comments below what your favourite water beast is. And with that, let's get into the ranking. So in 22nd place, we have Styro the Snapping Brute from Series 16. Now, if you've been on this channel long enough, you know I actually very much dislike Series 16. I don't really like any of the beasts from Series 16, and Styro is no exception. Unfortunately, Styro is my least favourite of the series, and that's to do with the fact he's just a giant lobster and very similar to Blood Boar for that fact. Just keep using his head as the weapon, and he had a Greymon related death. He killed himself pretty much, or defeated himself actually, by having a lighthouse fall on top of him. And then to add on, unlike Blood Boar though, he is very lobsters have low intelligence, and unfortunately he's no exception. He's not very that bright either, unlike Blood Boar, which is the only positive thing about Blood Boar. 21st place, we have Elko, Lord of the Sea. Now I have to keep checking the title for Elko because I keep forgetting it. Because I keep thinking it's probably the Ocean Menace. Nope, Lord of the Sea. Doesn't deserve any of these titles though. But yeah, Elko is 21st place because unlike Styro, where I actually remember some of Styro, I do not remember anything from Elko. I don't remember its abilities. I do not remember its fight. I do not remember it. Well, I know how well it did in the tournament, because it died in the first round. But that's the only thing I do remember from it. Elko is honestly a very forgettable beast, and also a beast I actually dislike. So yeah, that's Elko. Moving on to Soara, the Stinging Spectre at 20th place. I put this one here because whilst I dislike Styro and Elko, and kind of dislike this one, the reason why it actually gone from one I very much dislike to one I'm just kind of iffy with is because of how well it did in Battle of the Beasts. With that, I generally believe it should have made it to round 3. But that's the only good thing I have for it, because Soara, in the book, heads up Jack Griffin, is a major disappointment. Just so you're aware, when you read that book, you will barely see it. So you'll probably see it for a total of 2 chapters, and that's it. And it's not even very eventful either. And I've never forgiven Soara for that, because Soara looks like the most interesting beast from Series 18. And then it gives me that. I'm very disappointed by it. Lucas was disappointed by it, and I'm willing to bet Year Unknown was disappointed by it as well. So yeah, that's 3 out of the 4 of us that are disappointed by it. So I'm willing to bet Jack, you're probably going to be disappointed by it as well. 19th place is Solak, Scourge of the Sea. Now, I do kind of like the design on this beast, compared to the others, it doesn't match up to them. Because the others either did fantastic in their respective tournament, have great abilities, a great fight, or a good design. Unlike Solak, though, the only thing that all of these beasts have in common is that I remember aspects to them, apart from just their design. I do not remember much of Solak, unfortunately, because Solak is not only my least favourite Series 12, but also the start of what I believe is the most overrated season of Beast Quest. Which is saying something, because Series 18 was also on that list. So, but yeah, Solak, Scourge of the Sea. Unfortunately, has a great title, based off a very good animal based off a very good water beast related animal. Unfortunately, the book didn't really hit home for me. Hold on, 22nd, 21st, 18th place, we have we have a beast that I wanted to add higher on this list, but like Solak, unfortunately, I had to put the other ones higher because they're simply better. So, yeah, 18th place is Zephyr the Monster Squid. I actually did want to add this beast higher on my list because I actually do kind of like this beast. And that's because it is such a good opener to Series 2. And is just a giant animal. I don't have a problem with that. Unlike Claw, where I actively do have a problem with that, Zephyr, I don't have a major problem with. Unfortunately, it is my second least favourite of Series 2. That's simply because Sultra, Vipera, Arachnid, and Trillion are simply a lot better. But Zephyr, I think, is actually an underrated starter book for Series 2, and it's actually quite a good one. And I would go as far as to argue Zephyr the Monster Squid might be, story-wise, a better opener than Crab, Master of the Sea. And that is saying something. 17th place, I believe. 1950. Yep, 17th place, we have Sepron the Sea Serpent. Second time I've added Sepron on this list. And the second time, he didn't make it very high. Now, like I said in the reptilian ranking list, I love the seaweed hair. I love the fact he's coiling around in the cover so you can see his entire body. And a little smile he's got there. Unfortunately for Sepron, he didn't really do well in Battle of the Beasts. And I don't really have my hopes up to where he would do good either. Because I do not remember his opponent, but I'm willing to bet his opponent is a hell of a lot stronger. Whilst Sepron is the youngest of all the Series 1 beasts, unfortunately that also comes with the disadvantage of less experience. Which could be used as a hint to maybe the older beast might actually do better because they have more experience with fighting and all that. That might be a hint, that might not be, but yeah, I do not have my hopes high for Sepron. I would like to see a Water Beast win, but it'll probably be a Water Beast, let's say, in the top 10. Yeah, I could picture any of the top 10 Water Beasts winning. But yeah, Sepron, unfortunately, yeah, 17th place. 16th place, we have Spikefin the Water King. Now, I put Spikefin here because, now, this one is a mixed package of Series 9, along with Caraca, in my opinion, because Silver and Torpix are obviously the best, Ursus and Minos are obviously the worst, but then we got Spikefin and Caraca. I mean, for me, Spikefin and Caraca are very similar to each other, because they're both originally humans transformed into a beast, and I don't really know which one I prefer more. Because on one hand, I prefer Caraca because of the amazing fight. On the other hand, I prefer Spikefin. I'll wait for the dogs to stop, because I know it's just a postman. That's what I get for recording early in the morning. Whilst for Spikefin, he had pretty much every part of him can be used as a weapon, and he has a trident at his disposal as well, which I did not know when going into the first Battle of the Beast tournament. If I did, he might have won against Naga. But as I didn't know, and now I know now, he's got a little weapon he can use for his round 1 battle for the All Generations tournament. And I think I do remember who his opponent is. And that might give him more of a chance against his opponent as well, considering his opponent also has a weapon at their disposal. But with that, Spike Finn, unfortunately, I need to rank around here because the others I do have a bigger attachment to, but also I know I prefer more than Spike Finn at the moment. Heck, if Spike Finn does well in the All Generations tournament, maybe he'll be better than Karaka in my opinion. But the same thing can be said for Karaka. The only difference is I do know Spike Finn's opponent. Karaka, I still don't. What was that place? 20th, 19th, 18th, 17th, 16th. 15th place, we have actually the third Beast Quest special I ever had. So, the third special I've ever owned. And that's Okawa, the River Beast. Now, you're probably thinking the 13th special was my third one. Yeah, I know. I collected the specials in the weird order. The order of the original seasons I got was Series 7, then 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, skip 7. 8 and 9, and then moving on after that. For specials, it was just Mortax, Vedra and Crymon, then Okawa, and then I went chronologically from order of release. So then I had Spyros, Arax, Kratos and Kildor, Kreta, Rivera, Raksha, Grashcorp. You get the idea. Okawa was my third special I ever had, and it easily was better than Vedra and Crymon. Mortax, it was nowhere near better, and it never will be. I thought it was a nice little adventure, actually, and I kind of enjoyed it. I really did. However, I think the weak point I have for Okawa has to be the fact that he didn't really do well in the Specials Generation tournament, and also I do not believe Okawa actually can win a tournament because whilst his powers are relatively strong, very good and such, I don't believe he can do anything great because if he's away from water and the little hole on the top of his head of water is empty, he's good as dead. And I'm pretty sure he didn't last very long in the round 1 battle either. Because, well, his opponent was, like... his opponent did kind of help him with his ability. Bringing an oncoming storm with him. But also... what are you going to do against a beast that's twice your size? Yeah, that's who Okawa's first opponent was, and that's very unfortunate for him. 14th place, we have Naga the Sea Monster. This used to be my favourite water beast and my favourite Series 3, and maybe my favourite beast in general. But it has moved down quite a lot. And that's to do with the fact that I realised how bad it can be as a beast in Battle of the Beast in the Old Generation tournament. Because in round 1, it actually killed Spike Finn. But then in round 2, I realised that what's connecting all those next to each other, what, for all we know, is either like a body with a long tail, some claws or flippers there, or maybe just a big blob. We do not know what's at the base of Naga. However, I'm leaning more towards the big blob area. That is the reason why I kind of caused it to lose against its round 2 opponent, which I believe was Balisk. So yeah, and then Naga kind of went down in respects ranks for me. I mean, Naga as of now is still my favourite of Series 3. However, that might be changed by Kamon. So He will even lose the title as my favourite beast of Series 3. Wow. But apart from that, highly intelligent Naga is. But abilities, nothing much to write home about. And the fight was having a gruesome ending. I think kind of blended in to the other beasts as the series got bigger and better. But yeah, unfortunately, Naga, yeah. You're the best water beast of the original 3 seasons. Technically original 4, because season 4 doesn't have a water beast. But, yeah. Yeah. 13th place, we have Crab, Master of the Sea. Now, whilst I said Zephyr technically has a better starter to the series compared to Crab, in my opinion, that does not mean I prefer Zephyr over Crab. I mean, Crab, as a beast, is actually really good. And I believe made it to round 3 in Battle of the Beast. Did better than I thought he would. And he killed Doomskull in round 1 as well. That's even more impressive. Now, to go along with some great abilities, along with being able to walk on water, I believe, Crab also made some reappearances in other books, such as Solak, and maybe Virak, and next question. Yeah, Crab has made some reappearances, not a lot, but a fair amount actually. And I think I still remain positive that Crab is my 4th favourite of Series 5. I'm gonna stand by what I say and say that it's not a terrible book. It's not a terrible starter. Lucas said it himself, it's a good starter. However, I do prefer Hawkite, Tremor, and Amixis a hell of a lot more than Crab. Still a good water beast though. 12th place, we have Skalix the Snapping Horror. Now, normally this would be at the bottom of my water beast list, but because of how well it actually did in Battle of the Beasts, well, how well I imagined it could have done in Battle of the Beasts, with it being highly defensive and having a very powerful weapon, that's the reason why it's up this high. But the reason why it's not any higher is because its weapon, whilst being very powerful, is also very inaccurate. Because you can swing your tail around, try and hit something, but because of how big it is, it's probably going to go rather slow, giving your victims a perfect opportunity to move out of the way and just attack you back. Now, that kind of coincides with the tough armor and shell Skalix has. However, that's not going to save him if he can't hit his opponent. That's not going to save him. But yeah, Skalix is still an alright beast in my opinion. And whilst Skalix is still my least favourite of Series 20, I actually do kind of like all the beasts from Series 20. However, I stand by what I say, the story is still terrible. But all the beasts, actually, yeah, all of them. They're just okay now. They're not ones I actively dislike, but they're not ones I actually really like. They're just, they're all, including Rykar, Akira, and Zulok, they're all just crammed into a little spot that says, oh yeah, they exist. But they're not ones I have a problem with anymore. Whilst I did originally have a problem with it, not anymore. But it doesn't mean that the series is... doesn't mean I like Series 20. Yeah, because I do not. 11th place, we have... Is that really 11th place? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'll be damned. It is 11th place. 11th place is Korvax the Sea Dragon. Now, whilst I'm fully aware I might be contradicting myself of what I've said in my Reptilian ranking list, and my other list as well, because I did not rewatch them when I was doing the list for this. I think Korvax was higher than Skalix, but it might be the other way around. But that just goes to, even if it is the other way around, it goes to show that it is easy to swap these two beasts around, because I like both of them, kind of. However, I do prefer Korvax a tad bit more. But that's for her abilities actually being good and not also the weakness. I also don't remember much from the fights in Korvax, but I do remember this one being a challenge for Tom as well. And of course, I think the teeth are poisonous as well for Korvax. How well she did in Battle of the Beast? Well, let's just say fire wasn't her friend. Yeah, we'll go with that. 10th place, we have Voltrex, the two-headed octopus. This one also would have been in the top 5 for water beasts, but due to some of the newer seasons, this one's been moved from what could have been 5th to 10th. Now, unfortunately, whilst I do like Voltrex to an extent, he went from what was my favourite of Series 10 to my second, and what is probably my third favourite now. Because I've now decided I prefer Lustor over Voltrex, and we already know Noctil is my favourite Series 10. But that doesn't change the fact that Voltrex is still a good beast in my opinion. And I can understand why he's I believe he's Year Unknown's favourite of Series 10. If not, it's Jack Griffin. I know it's one of them. So I know it's one of them, so I know I'm right. I do not remember whose it is though. It might be both of them. I need to rewatch that collab. But yeah, I do remember that this was one of their favourites, and if not, then I'm sorry that I clearly got the wrong message. But yeah, Voltrex. Now this beast, the abilities were quite good. Thorny tentacles, sharp beak, very highly intelligent, because that's what octopi are. However, I think this one did die in round 2 of Battle of the Beasts. I do not remember who he died to, and I'm not going to search it up, but yeah, Voltrex did die in Battle of the Beasts. Probably I know it was round 2, because I know he killed Sepron. But I do not remember who killed Voltrex. Would it be Elic? I don't believe it is Elic, but it would make sense if it was, but I don't think it is. 9th place, we have Nasefa, the Cursed Siren. Now, this one is very similar to Spikefin, actually, with the whole mermaid exterior, and also having a built-in weapon of a red steel dagger. Also quite good. Not to mention, it is terrifying to look at. And was at one point my favourite of Series 22. However, due to the events of the New Generation tournament, Nasefa is no longer my favourite. And my favourite has gone on to probably the least expected beast to be my favourite of Series 22. Considering my habit for disliking this kind of beast. But yeah, hopefully Nasefa can do better in the All Generation tournament and reclaim her title as my favourite of Series 22. But that's probably not going to happen. But Nasefa is still a great book in my opinion. And like with all the other beasts of Series 22, she actually has a job. And that's what I like about the beasts from Series 22. Because, well, they have a job to protect or keep guard of a certain area of Makai. And whilst I would argue that Larnak, Menexes and Durogs are just as important as Nasefa's, in my opinion though, Nasefa has the least important job. And to guard the ships when they're already set sail, whilst the others actually contribute to the making of the ships and how they can fly and such, Nasefa's is just guarding them until they're ready to set sail. And unlike the other beasts, Nasefa didn't really last too long. But that's because she was dedicated to her job, got taken out of the water just to kill Tom, and then died because, well, she can't breathe above water. Bless her. 8th place, we have Vorak, the Storm King. Now this is a giant lobster like Styro done right. See, I can like my giant animals, they just need to be done right. And what Vorak does that Styro doesn't is that this one is actually quite intelligent. But also to do with the fact that this one kind of has its own character to it, being oh, I bring a storm with me, and I always have the weather advantage there. But also knowing when to take a step back just to wear his opponents down or get a better examining of things. Not to mention some of his abilities as well can disorientate his opponents as well. And he's a lobster with sharp pincers, sharp fangs. Obviously, he's going to have a tough grip. And also tough armor as well. And also, this is the debut book of Rhea. One of my favourite villains from the Beast Quest franchise. So yeah. Anything negative to say about Vorak is that, no, not really. Because Vorak made it decently far in the Specials Generation tournament, and made it as far as I would have actually made it go. And he could have made it further. However, the way in which I narrated the fight that he lost in, yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way I narrated it. That's the reason why he lost, because it's the way I narrated it. But yeah, Vorak, 8th place. Still a great water beast, and I was thinking maybe my favourite, but then the newer books came in. So prepare yourself, guys. Strap yourself in. The next 4 beasts I'm revealing are all on the newer side of things, and also one of them, 7th place actually, is one that I actually judged very unfairly. But when I read it with Lucas, I found out Devourer the Deathfish is actually a really good book. Beast-wise, it has some of the best abilities there are, including Larnak, Kretus, and Solix's Swarm ability. But for Devourer, I'm going to call it the School ability, because that's what you call a group of fish, a school. And also, not to mention, Agile, Sharp Fins, Sharp Fangs, multiple eyes. Along with other abilities I'm probably forgetting, including Freezing Water. Hello? Yeah, Devourer, shot her way up from what would have been one of my least favourite water beasts to 7th favourite. And this one hasn't even competed in the tournament yet. I'm looking forward to using this one. Not to mention, I know Devourer's round 1 opponent of the All Generation tournament, and I'm relatively confident she might win. However, the round 1 opponent does have the habit of also separating. So, the other one might win, but unfortunately, Devourer's opponent is a beast I actually dislike. So, I might show a bit of bias there, but I try not to. However, something else I need to say about Devourer, I would say that the design, I will admit, is not a great design, but I was sorely mistaken. Whilst I do not like the design and had very low expectations for this book, it was great. Like, the abilities were good, the fight was great, the story would need to ask Lucas there, but I'm pretty sure he enjoyed Devourer as well. I think, if I can quote Thanos here, perhaps I treated you too harshly. And that's exactly what I think I did. I did the same thing to Arachnid as well. I judged it too harshly. But yeah, Devourer, 7th favourite. And hopefully I won't judge a book by its cover again, but I already done that with Series 28. I saw the covers for the Beast in Series 28 and none of them impressed me. Apart from Oseron. But that's it. None of them impressed me. 6th place, we have a beast which, knowing what I'm kind of like with beasts here, I'm surprised this one actually made it up this high. But yeah, 6th place, we have Technos the Ocean Crawler. Now, this one is here for the sole reason of how well it did in Battle with the Beasts. It made it as far as I'm happy it made it to. And also, it lost a rather okay spot. Then again, his opponent that he lost to was a very formidable opponent, so I can't really argue there. At one point in the tournament, I thought Technos was actually going to win. But of course, as I said, he didn't. But he does have some great abilities, and whilst they're rather simple compared to Devora and other beasts which have yet to be mentioned or have already been mentioned, I think the fact of how large he is and his shell is actually a good contributor to why it made it this far in the tournament. Because whilst he has simple abilities, he's very, very defensive. Which can cause the weakness to so many of these other beasts. Because whilst they have multitude of abilities and very fast or something, they can't take a hit. This one, however, does not have many abilities, but can take a hit and give a just as powerful one back. And that's why I have Technos in 6th place, because he actually can do damage whilst taking damage as well. 5th place, and that's why I see Technos along with Devora, Vorak, Nasefa, and Voltrex, along with the next 5 water beasts I'm going to mention here. I can see any of these 10 winning. Voltrex and Nasefa, least likely. But Vorak onwards, I am confident we're going to see make it past at least round 1, maybe round 2. But yeah, here we are. 5th place, we have Flooga, the Sightless Sliverer. Now, in my last Water Beast ranking, do my top 10, I believe this one got 10th place. But that's shortly after I've read Flooga. But now it's been a year since I've read Flooga now. A year, really. A year or maybe 2 years. I do not know, okay? But Flooga has always been a beast I liked, and since the new generation tournament, he's done really well. I do still believe he should not have won his round 2 battle, he still put up a really good fight against his round 3 opponent, which I will not say because it's very obvious who would win, but he did very well. And I did make a little oopsie in his round 1 fight against Rykar, saying of how Flooga could see it, even though it blatantly says on that title, Flooga cannot see, he's blind. That did not click in my mind in the round 1 fight, but I did fix my mistake in his round 2 battle, and yeah, he had quite a good run in the new generation tournament. And whilst I can see him winning, if he goes against a beast that's similar to his round 3 opponent, chances are he will lose. But moving on, 4th place we have Glarky, Spear of the Depths. Now, whilst Flooga did better than Glarky in the new generation tournament, Glarky, in my opinion, is still one I prefer more because his abilities are a hell of a lot cooler. I have more creative liberty when it comes to that, his abilities, compared to Flooga and Technos. With Glarky being able to freeze water and also shatter the water, turn it into ice spikes to propel at his opponent, sharp teeth, arachnid, very fast, and also a bunch of other abilities as well. I have creative liberty when it comes to his abilities. Same with Devora now, which I'm looking forward to using Devora in the tournament. But the reason why Glarky is 4th place is because at the end of the day, he did lose in round 2. Yeah, he did lose in his round 2 battle. So that is one reason why he's 4th place. But also because the other 3 beasts here did exceptionally well in their respective tournament. And my opinion of them grew so much more because of that. And other reasons because 2 of them are from the old generation, so nostalgia. And also, I liked these beasts from the very beginning since I read them. Well, 2 of them anyway. One I did actually dislike, but because of the tournament, my opinion on him became my favourite of that series. And with that, 3rd place is Series 8, Balisk the Water Snake. I remembered to add him on this time. Yep, in my reptilian ranking list, I forgot to add Balisk on my list, and I was furious with myself. But now, this time, I have remembered to add Balisk. Hello! And third place for Balisk. Not bad at all. Now, Balisk, in my opinion, is the best beast of Series 8, and no one's going to change my opinion on that. He's also a very underrated beast, in my opinion. Being was his Sampeo's weakest beast. No, the hell he isn't. The weakest beast of Series 8, in my opinion, is either Torno or Hecton, not Balisk. Sorry, got an itchy nose. Balisk also surprised me in the old generation tournament, making it all the way to round 4 before dying. And of course he died to Torpix. He died to the winner. So, I think it's the fact his abilities are so good, or are actually really unique, and can catch his opponents off guard, which is the reason why he made it as far as he did. And I'm hoping he makes it further, because I really want to use Balisk for at least 3, if not 4 battles, in which he comes out victorious. I do not remember his round 1 opponent, but because of the fact there's so many bad beasts against so many good beasts, I'm hoping he's going against a bad beast. But also, I would like him to go against a good beast. That way, he has a challenge. But yeah, Balisk, I'm really hoping does really good. But with that, Balisk is third place. And the reason why I put him third place instead of second place is because Balisk I didn't like as soon as I finished reading it the first time. I liked because of the tournament. The other two, though, I liked after reading them the first time. And my opinion on them has not changed, full stop. However, because of the tournament, my opinions on both of them only grew stronger because they both did really well. However, one was the runner-up and one died in round 4. Is it round 4? Okay, one was the runner-up, one died in the final 7. And with that, second place, and actually surprised me for making it how far he did in a tournament as well, because I thought he was going to die in round 2 or round 3. It's Plexor the Raging Reptile. Yeah, this one I honestly adore this beast. I really do. My favourite Series 15 still. His abilities, whilst being kind of simple, have actually been used to the full extent in the new generation tournament, to where he won 3 battles, all of which he could have lost. Ronak the Toxic Terror in round 1. Okay, that one he definitely could have won. Round 2 was Farrar the Snow Phoenix. He could have lost that. Round 3 was Skra. That one, okay, yeah, that one I was impressed he won. And round 4, okay, I do remember his opponent, but I know he lost that fight. So Plexor he did die before the final 4, which is unfortunate. I'm not going to say I'm disappointed by that, because at the end of the day, Plexor exceeded my expectations. I thought he was going to die to Skra, but no, he died to the following beast, which actually ended up being a very good beast in that tournament. I'm not upset with where Plexor got in the new generation tournament, because at the end of the day, he doesn't have any standout ability that can save him in these kind of situations. But he did always have the field advantage with the whole clock arena thing. But that's because when you're a water beast, and strictly a water beast that can't really move well on land, what are you going to do? You can't really do much here. So Plexor kind of had to have the water clock arena. And the reason why number one is because he does have similar abilities to Plexor with the whole hammerhead vibe to him. But unlike Plexor, he can actually fight on land. Even his book, being a water beast, which was mentioned here, he can also fight on land. In his book, he was fighting Tom on land. And if you do not know already, this was second place on my reptilian ranking list. Crestor, the Crushing Terror, is my number 1 choice for my water beasts. For the longest time, I do not remember a time where Crystal was not my favourite water beast. Now, whilst this is a technicality that Crystal is a water beast, due to the whole fort in the Rocky Mountain area, there's two really good hints to how this beast is a water beast on the cover alone. We got the fins on the claws there, and the gills just at the top of his neck. So there's the two good hints that Crystal is a water beast. Not to mention, it was mentioned in this book when Crystal first appeared in front of Tom, that Tom was like, oh, this seems to be more like a water beast kind of thing. And it is. Not to mention the abilities with the whole hammerhead vibe, sharp claws, and of course, acid coming out of the spikes along his neck. Whilst I do think that Crystal was a good contender in Battle of the Beasts, I will say I was more surprised that Crystal made it into the top 2 than Torpix making it into the top 2. But Crystal did fantastic in my opinion, and deserved to make it as far as he did. So I'm not even upset that Crystal made it that far. And if anything, that tournament itself, from how far Crystal made it, actually solidified my opinion on Crystal being my favourite water beast, my second favourite reptilian beast, and my second favourite of Series 7. And with that, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe. Please leave your favourite water beast name down in the comments below. And with that, I'll see you next time.